There are many of us asking ourselves about our exes, about our past, and we are struggling to move forward. All right. This video is dedicated to us. The greatest or the highest form of revenge or punishment, all right, I think, is silence. When I say silence, what do I mean? I mean do whatever you're doing in silence. Make your next move in silence. Nobody has to know what you're doing. Nobody has to necessarily be a part of your plan, all right? Teach yourself how to stop how to stop paying so much attention to all the hurt that you've been through. Stop focusing on that pain. I know it's difficult. I know that it's difficult. I've been there. As reluctant as you are to focus your attention on this that I'm about to mention right now, do it. I dare you. Focus your attention on your inner self, all right? Focus your next move, the next thing that you want to do, the next thought that comes to your mind. Focus it on where you see yourself in future. What do you want to do? What's your next move? The most elegant aspect of revenge, I think, in my opinion, is ignorance. Ignore who hurt you. Ignore who criticizes you. If it's not constructive criticism, ignore it. If somebody's opinion of you does not match or does not suit your opinion of yourself, just ignore it. Ignore it. Make peace with yourself and remind yourself every day, in fact, every hour, in fact, every 20 minutes, remind yourself of how great you are. Remind yourself of how far you've come. Remind yourself that it is through your silence, it is through the hurt that you've been through, it is through being stubborn, being hard-headed, through ignorance. You know, when I used to hear the saying or the quote that says, ignorance is bliss, I never understood it until I understood that the bliss comes in when you ignore outside opinions of you, because you must never ever allow somebody outside of yourself, their opinion of you, to define who you are. Remember this, people outside are not with you in your darkest moment. People outside are not paying your rent. They're not putting food on your table. They're not helping you to raise your kids, all right? They're not there when you're facing a phone call from your kid's school and the teacher's telling you that your kid is a piece of shit. They're not there when your kid comes home and your kid says, Mom, today my teacher embarrassed me in front of the whole assembly. And you have to face the struggle of the hurt and the emotional baggage that your kid now carries around. You're the one that has to go through all of that. And you're the one that has to pull yourself closer to yourself and remind yourself just how great you really are, okay? You might not be doing big things like everybody else out there. I look at myself and I say, I'm not a celebrity. I sure as hell am not aiming to become a celebrity. I love my life. I am so grateful for the things that I have in my life. And when I make mistakes and when things go wrong in my life. Like, I just had a huge relapse in my life. I fell, took a drastic fall. I won't mention it right now, but you know what? It doesn't define who I am. What does define me is how I respond to what happened. I've realized that, and I've learned how to constructively criticize myself. Literally. I don't do it. I don't stand in front of the mirror and say, oh, you're such a piece of shit. No, I don't do that. What I do is I ask myself, what is this here to teach me? What have I not learned in the past that this has now happened? There's something that I need to learn. There's something important, a lesson that I need to attain from this, all right? And I do my best not to beat myself up. I used to beat myself up very badly. But then I learned that Jesus came here to conquer this world for me. He died on that cross for me. He was persecuted, and he was beaten up, and he was crucified. And if that's what he went through, and all he was doing was speaking the truth, and his only nature was to love, to demonstrate forgiveness, to demonstrate loving kindness, and all he got was death on the cross of Calvary, then I don't want that to happen to me. But he bore the brunt for me, and all I have to do is be the best version of myself, which is what I'm doing. And it's not easy. It's not easy because you got everybody staring at you, and everybody's got a piece of something to say about you, and who gives a damn? Who gives a damn? Because at the end of the day, you are the one that's having to put food on the table, all right? You are the one who's having to check your bank balance every now and then. You are the one that has to complete a building, the construction. Your kids are being raised in this environment, and you are the one that's in control of all of this. You are the one that's in control of how you respond to what goes on around you. You are not in control of who steals from you. You're not in control of who lets you down. You're not in control of who lies to you. You are not in control of who is gossiping about you. So you shouldn't even worry about that. Okay, you should not even bother about it. Just remember, the highest form of punishment for those who are talking about you because they have nothing better to do, all right, is silence. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You have yourself, you have those around you, and I'll always go back to the hand rule that I have for myself, and that is put your hand in your thumb, put your fingers over your thumb, and understand how many fingers does it take to cover your thumb, and do it the opposite way. Put your hand over your fingers and watch how many fingers you cover. These are all the people that you need in your life, according to my own experience. Now, if anybody can tell you otherwise in saying stuff like you need an entire congregation of church people to be supportive and to have a support structure, according to where I come from and according to my experience and what I've been through, I don't have a whole congregation of support behind me. This is what I have. Probably less than that. And if you notice the number 4, my kids, I got 4 kids, and this is me. And when I was going through a whole lot of crap, they were all I had. Until I realized that there are some adults that I do need who have been sent, and they are in my circle right now, but they fit into my hand and I fit into their hand. And it might sound selfish, and I really don't give a damn how it sounds. Like I said, my content is not for everyone. However, for those of you that do enjoy my content, you will understand where I'm coming from and the point that I'm making. And I just want to say a huge thank you for those of you who are watching this and for those who have subscribed to my channel. Love you loads. Ciao.